Alright, hi guys, it's Miss Wang right here. So I'm going to go over, like I said one, but maybe I'll go over two of the problems. So if we look at the number one, so number one is asking us to first use double angle identity. And the first one is about sine. So let's go to find the double angle formula, which should be on our notes. The sine of two angle equals 2 multiplied by sine of angle A multiplied by cosine of angle A. So let's write it down first. Sine of 120 degrees. So remember, this is sine of 2A. So what is A? A will be, in this case, 60 degrees, because 2 twice of 60 degrees will give us 120. Alright, so sine of 2a equals 2 sine of a, which is 60 degrees in this case, multiplied by cosine of a. Alright, now this is something we need to remember. If you remember, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 45 degrees are the basic trigonometries, and you need to remember those trigonometric numbers. So 60 degrees, if we draw a triangle, here's 60. So sine of 60 degrees will give you the opposite over hypotenuse. And again, the ratio should be 1 square root 3, 2. So the opposite over hypotenuse will be 2 multiplied by sine is square root 3 over 2. Multiplied by cosine is what? Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent to this degree will be 1 over 2. And now 2 multiplied by 2 divided by 2 divide out. So I have square root 3 and so we have square root 3 multiplied by 1, which is square root 3. And on the bottom, my denominator only has 2. So that's how you find the square root 3 over 2. And we can actually check it. So I'll erase this part. That doesn't work very well. Okay. All right. So now let's look at the sine of 120 degrees. So if we draw a unit circle, alright, 120 degrees will be at the second quadrant, right here. So here is actually, you can make a triangle and you can see the sine, which is opposite over hypotenuse, should be a positive number. And you can check, here is a positive number, so most likely it's okay, like your answer should be okay. Alright, that's number one. So let's look at number two as well. Number two, cosine of 4 pi over 3, and again, we are going to use double angle identity. So cosine of 4 pi over 3, we can actually draw this graph first. Here's a unit circle. 4 pi over 3. 3 pi over 3 is pi, and 3 pi over 3 is 180 degrees. And 4 pi over 3 is like another pi over 3. So that's actually here. This big angle. Remember, the initial side is the positive x. Alright, so here is my angle. And the double angle formula saying we are going to find the half of the angle, which is 2 pi over 3. and 2 pi over 3 is actually 120 degrees. So right here, you will find the half of the angle. So let's look at cosine formula. The cosine formula, we can either use cosine square subtract sine square, or 1 minus 2 sine square, or 2 cosine square. So I'll choose one of these, and it doesn't matter which one you choose because I don't want to find cosine and sine together. I just want to find one of them. So if I use 2 cosine square A minus 1, so if I'm going to use 2 cosine square of an angle, which in this case will be 2 pi over 3 minus 1, because I just divided this angle by 2. Alright, so then I need to know what is the cosine of this angle. Alright, so how to find the cosine of this angle? And again, since here is 120 degrees, and we know from positive x to negative x is 180. So this part left to us is actually 60 degrees. So I can actually draw this little triangle right here. Here's 60. And the cosine of 60, you need to remember, is 1 over 2. However, in this case, since it's -1, it's going to the left. The adjacent is -1, so it's actually -1 over 2, making it -half. So we have 2 multiplied by the cosine of 2 pi over 3 is -1/2. And the square, we need to square it. Subtract 1. I have 2 multiplied by 1 over 4. So here's negative, but negative square makes it a positive. 1/2 square is 1/4, subtract 1, and it will give us negative. 2 by 4 is 2 so multiply by 2, divide by 4, makes it divide by 2. And then this will be -1/2. It could be your answer, but let's check if it should be a negative number. So here is your actual angle. Here is the actual angle. All right, now we are looking at the cosine. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is actually a negative number because it's on the left of the original. So it's a negative number over a positive number. It will make a negative number. So here's your answer. So that's how we find using double angle formula to find the answers. I should find more. Right. So here's the first answer. Here's the second answer. Okay. So there were only 3 of you turned in the work, and none of them showed that you know how to apply the double angle formula. Like 2 of them just gave me the answers. So make sure you use those steps to find the answer, to achieve the answer, and practice. There are only 4 problems. Don't just copy the answer. Alright, so next week we are going to talk about the half angle formula.